And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
On the carry, it's Cook. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. Trying to find Cup, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. Well, it was third down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
That'll be taken in the end zone.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a first and 10.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
He'll look to throw. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a third down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up third and 5.
Come on, set. Time of the ending. Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. 58 to Mike, 58. 58 to Mike.
Out of the gun now on third down. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on third down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
The Bears take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Trubisky brings the Bears up first and 10 at the 20. Play action. It's Trubisky. And caught. This is Bennett, the tight end.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They run. This is Cohen. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
And it's third down.
Come on,
third down. Trubisky. Going down the middle, and it's complete. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
It's a gain of 20. First down, Chicago.
First down, a run with Cohen. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
All day, just like that. Just like that.
From midfield now, here's Trubisky. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 34. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Here's Trubisky to throw, and he whips that one incomplete there.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run on second down with Cohen. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
From the gun on third down, it's Trubisky. He's got Fuller. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Trubisky gives to Cohen. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen, his first touchdown here of the new campaign as the Bears push further out in front. The point after is good, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Right back to Cooper, and he got him again. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. 14-0 to score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
I don't know about you, partner, but on 2nd and inches, a lot of the times I'm leery about the offensive guys thinking about taking a shot downtown. Instead, they just hand it to the big man and let him rumble forward for a first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and they're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
17 yards, first down, Vikings.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Fletcher Cox, his second sack of the night. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Cooper was the target there, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 18. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
No gain on the play.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already thrown 1 interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. He may try and run for this. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. This is Cohen, and an alley to run. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 22 yards there, a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball and where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
1:55 left to go in the first half of play. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Now Trubisky to Cohen out of the backfield. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right, maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Trubisky to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. For the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Tight ends on the Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. 4 down.
2nd and 9 now. They'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 43. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll dump this off to Cook. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff,
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
they They need a stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. This is Cohen on the toss. Oh, Cohen lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now it's Trubisky. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well. Yeah,
and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. 2nd and 10. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. This quarterback now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. Looking to throw. It's caught, Cooper. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. He's at the 50. 30. Past the 20. 10. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Here's 2nd and 8. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, If you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off here, the 32. And they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he's going to be out of bounds here on the return. It is... Two-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And this has not been their best half so far. They're down double digits already and now forced to operate from inside their own 5.
And what they have to do now is not curse their fate as much as focus on the task at hand. Inside their own 5-yard line, they've got to be careful of taking care of the football and not turning it over for the defense to score additional points.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Hanson. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. Man open. It's Kupp. He's got it. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
That's another Vikings first down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. Hanson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Looking to throw. Hanson. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, Hanson. And this is Cook with a grab. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
First and 10 at the 15.
Look at me. Go. Sean, go. Crouch. Go.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been there.
I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
On second down now, it's Carson. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in four-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
And Elliott puts this one through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On first down, they go right back to Cohen. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 10 at the 40-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. And caught. This is Bennett, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's second down now. Give him a couple on the carry there, second and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They try again with Cohen, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Here's Trubisky. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A second down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. In trouble, and he's taken down. Bilal Nichols drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. And left side, it's complete. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Hansen. He's got Smith here. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Mike 59. Mike 50. Alert, 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 alert. He's scared.
From midfield now, here's Trubisky. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. He's got Fuller. Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
We got this.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey,